Aim should be to extract the elements rather than to recondition the battery.
Will of course then again reconcentrate and create new cells.
Thinking about us. How are the insurance companies responding to
Certain cities like for maybe Bangalore, so insurance is an issue for this kind of vehicle. So some cases, coverage is not real.
Okay. And sir, also we were talking
On this week's episode, we sit down with someone in the space of EV after sales, from repairing them to retrofitting EVs. Meet Mr. Mridu Das, the CEO of Automovill.
So sir, what was the spark that created Automovill? Why Automovill?
The spark actually, if you see any startup which comes in today's market, very few of them, at least in our age, has come out of college and did a startup. Everybody worked for some time, or everybody was doing something and which has been converted to startup. So it's more about having a problem or having a passion. In my case, about having a problem and the passion about solving that problem. So I had issue with my car, which has continued for a very long time. I was keep visiting multiple showrooms and all, which was not getting fixed. Then I eventually paid a lot. Then I went to a local workshop.
Okay.
And he in in few hours he told me what is the problem and how it can be fixed and how could I have saved a lot of money. So two things, one is the transparency which I got there, and second the ease at what he done this thing at a very low cost. So that's when I understood that this is a problem. It was back in 2015-16. So that time ours were still, people were very passionate about their cars. They used to nicely take it to showroom, kind of this kind of thing. So I have to make a habit changing thing. So that's when I realized that there's an alternative available and which has a value for customer as well as to the workshop guys, the lower strata of the economy. And that's when I built this platform to bring both these things together. Then many other dimensions came in, but that's where the spark came from.
So basically you organized all the local garages to a proper one.
Yeah, I won't say all. I tried that.
Yeah, like that's
but
the aim.
Now we also have one of our workshop here, and we also have other partnered workshop. But basically, yes, we work with lot of garages like this.
Okay. Yeah. And sir, so while I was entering the workshop, I saw a lot of electric vehicles were parked. So how is the taken care of electric vehicle different from those of ICE? The first question.
So ICE is what we started with typically. Then while you have to evolve in your journey also. So mobility has, after this telecom and mobile communication, the next thing which is having a rapid transition in today's time is mobility.
True.
In various shape and form, which is not visible or which you will not know. But you have never imagined that you will have a car running on a battery, at least in our age. But I think technology was there but never implemented. So while in last few months of our journey, so we used to work with a lot of commercial vehicle also. I mean, if you look at around, there are a lot of customer vehicle, but they also, if we call it yellow board vehicle, Uber, Zola, like this, these companies. So while working with them, we found that they are moving rapidly towards EV, and also this commercial vehicle. You can see this one behind me. So now this business came as a chance to us. Not, we see the opportunity, but it is not that somebody is coming in a platter and giving it to us. So we got an opportunity with one of the fleet company, and they gave the vehicle first, and we solved some problem which was not very critical, but at the same time not anybody can do it. But maybe we know our technicians well. We can do a very good RCI, even if the workshop is not ours, our workshop is even ours also. At least that common sense of how to do a root cause analysis was with us. So that helped us solving problem in those EV vehicles also. And then quickly we adapted. We quickly trained our manpower, few of them, and we started the delivering. So this is how we get into EV. Then the next stage, that is the first stage, when you get a chance and you do it. The next stage of it comes with when you seek out for opportunity. Then we started exploring what this market is going through. Then we realized that entire, if you understand the word, last mile and medium mile
delivery. Yes, I had a question.
Medium mile. So last mile and medium mile mobility will move to EV eventually, because it is cost effective and it is easy to adapt to it. You cannot last mile mobility means going to the small gullies and alleys, where instead of having a big vehicle, smaller vehicle is very good. So it started evolving there. So adoption happened, and we took an opportunity. Then we started connecting with OEMs, and various business opportunities now coming in that sector for us. Now we recently started a platform called cleanmobility.com. So it's just a website, but behind it there are a lot of other things. We have packages for different kind of vehicles. We have different kind of services, warranty to insurance to sales support. There are also battery support. There are certain kind of business we are doing. So this is how we got. So there's a plethora of opportunity because it's a new business. and volume will be huge in going forward. Not on passenger segment, I won't say that passenger segment, but commercial segment.
Commercial is picking up very fast in
And
Bangalore,
this
especially.
is a good time for us to contribute. I won't say business, but somebody has to contribute, right? So
True.
we could be the one who will help and see that how we are helping. There are many stories around it, but yes, this is how we come to EV.
Okay. And talking about EVs, so dealing with EVs is not, there's that thing, okay, there's a battery with so much voltage. So what were the technical difficulties in that? So you had to train your staff that way to deal with current, because normal vehicles have 12 volts.
12 volts,
This thing has,
I mean, every battery has different sizes,
yes.
but even I don't know which car has what kind of voltage. Yes. So the thing which helped us in this case is we did not come to the system as a manufacturer or someone like who tried to experiment with. We already got a product. Every product got a set manual. So at least we know which are the things to open, which are the things not to open. So that is the point number one. Then RCI, which I said, root cause analysis. So RCA was good with us because even those IC vehicle also have a lot of electrical issues. So those electrical issues, that how the current flows and where the sockets are, where this fuses is, still
the basics the same.
Only thing is, instead of engine, here is a motor. So we learned things, we stumbled, we took time. But once you track with one vehicle, you understand that it's actually technology is same, like with other cars also. However, it is easier in EV than ICE vehicles actually. Until unless you don't start, it is a black box. Once you start, when you know that, oh, there has to be a motor. If there is a motor, there has to be a coupler. If there is a coupler, there has to be a connection like this. If there is a battery, there has to be another battery. If there another battery is there, it means the starter will be there. If the starter is an issue, then you should look into this box. Then, like, that blueprint is almost same. But if you look at the ICE engine, its blueprint is much bigger than this EV.
The ICE engine, the engine itself has so many things.
So initially it was tough. Then, because we ourselves don't know, of course, our technicians work, our garages work, they learn because they have that habit. Like most of them started with maybe ambassador cars or maybe Maruti 800s or Altos. Now they do, if you say that this BMW is there, and even this BS6 vehicles, they are much more complex than this, maybe this Chevrolet Sail which is there. So they learned, with them we also learned.
Kept evolving with time.
Yeah, it's called evolution.
So also one big factor when I was supposed to buy an electric scooter, used electric scooter, college student, budget issues. So one big factor that I saw was most of the electric scooters, the battery was drained out. The battery health was 80% or so. So how has the battery health been a factor in the electric industry, especially when cars are coming for servicing? Is battery reconditioning a thing as of today?
It is too early to tell how this industry is evolving. Like if you say the electric battery, maybe even a layman terms, or maybe a guy from industry also, if you see what stages the battery in, maybe if it are 5 stages, stage 0, 1, 2, 3, 5 will be the highest, where the battery may be powered with nuclear cells. Today may be at stage 1 or 1.5. Stage 0 is over when experimentation is done. Now we are at stage 1 or 1.5. We're gradually going to a stage 2. So maybe by stage 2 you will be finding more stabilized batteries. So nowadays most of the batteries, apart from few companies, most of the batteries are just lithium batteries, which gives you the information about the batteries, how much this thing is there, what you call charge is there, or what is the discharge rate. But going forward you will see that those batteries will come with much more smarter information. What is the discharge rate? How is the balancing is happening in the battery? Is there a cell which is weak, which is drawing lot of power? Which part of the vehicle movement it is drawing most power? How you can optimize that power draining? Drain up is the bigger issue. When you drive, battery drains out. So they will optimize your drain up. So with that, the battery's health or battery's charging, discharging will be more controlled by stage 2 and stage 4 of this EV industry. So by that time you will automatically see that this discharging problem will be in your hand. You will know, like how much kilometer you're going, where to fill the petrol. Like this you will be used to, and also ecosystem will evolve by that. Now reconditioning of battery, it's really ambitious to say that we can do it today.
Okay.
Because batteries are complex, they will be simplified over a period of time, and also there are a lot of dependency on outside exporter from whom we get the things. Until and unless we get the entire cycle here, from cell to the battery. First is the ore,
the lithium ore,
then the cell, then the fabrication, then the actual battery, right? So there are 4 or 5 stages. And some stages are still dependent on outside export. Till we don't get this entire life cycle set, we won't be going to it. But if you see reconditioning, you will be hardly find any vehicle which is more than 5 years old in today's time. Maybe the oldest vehicle was Reva. We don't see a Reva. So the second will be the Mahindra Verito. After that, the other vehicles are coming. So we haven't gone to the stage where this is an issue. That there are so many cars with so many dead batteries.
Yes. And in fact, you spoke about the Reva. My college math professor has a Reva. And Reva originally came with a lead acid battery, I believe. Yes. So now he, with the help of the college, the college electric club, he converted his Reva from a lead acid battery to a lithium ion battery. So he basically upgraded the car.
With very limited resources and knowledge.
Yes, the college students, like my college guys, were able to convert a lead acid battery operated car to a lithium ion, and the range was like crazy because we have a big battery and Reva is a small car, very weak motor. So yeah, it was a big upgrade.
Oh, big upgrade. Yeah. See, like this, see, you guys have done it, right? So for us also, this kind of evolution will happen. So when this battery, I mean, there are companies working on it. I mean, talking about battery reconditioning, but it is not structured to the way that it can be an industry today. But yeah, very soon, maybe in, you would say maybe in next 18 to 36 months, 18 to 24 months, I would say, this battery business will start coming. There are new companies who will coming to the industry. Actually, in some countries, the old battery is an issue. It started being coming up. In India, it will take time. But once it starts, it will come in huge numbers. I mean, you will see one day 1 lakh battery are thrown away in some place. Somebody has to quickly recondition, recycle, or regenerate to a different source of power. So these things will come.
So also I came across a company, okay, in India itself, what they're doing is they're taking old batteries and they're reconditioning them and they're implementing it into a battery swapping network. So that's one thing I saw, okay, like
it will be used as inverter, it will be used as marriage functions, big generators, then it will be go to those apartments or these offices you can see there, right? Big offices. So they are also consumption is very high. So they use now big DG sets. So you can say that there will be 1 lakh battery, that 1 lakh battery is sufficient to maybe entire lights of one IT park into the tomorrow's time, and you can put solar panel over it. So you don't need to spend anything. It will be regenerating. That entire apartment complex or office complex will be a self-sufficient powerhouse. So these things will come because these things are written in science somewhere that it is possible, and whatever is possible, it's only those in between gaps or that connectors that you have to make. With that, it will be obviously.
But the thing is, science is changing so fast. So like 10 years ago, we had lead acid batteries. Now we have lithium ion. So maybe I think the aim should be to extract the elements rather than to recondition the battery towards the future.
Extracting element, of course, reconditioning the battery means some part of it will definitely go away. The usable part will be mostly those cells and the ore. Then the metal that you will, of course, then again reconcentrate and create new cells maybe. And whatever the metal comes out of it, it will go for general metal recycling or metal or plastic recycling process. So that is one possible. However, also there is some kind of an discharge which will come. That also needs to be handled. So that is a different concept because I'm personally not aware of it. What is the chemicals that come out of it which could potentially harm the environment again? So that will be another set of industry. So the same battery recycling will create 3-4 opportunities of business.
A lot of stuff coming up.
Yes, of course. Science is not changing. It's evolving at a speed which we cannot see with our naked eyes.
True. One of the questions I also was thinking about was, how are the insurance companies responding to workshops working on electric vehicles? So because electric vehicles have different needs. So have the insurance companies adopted to electric vehicles or they still have the same protocols that they had for ICE?
I don't know about up north, but there are certain cities like for maybe Bangalore, Hyderabad and Kolkata, I think Automovill could be the only outside authorized network companies who are allowed to handle EV cars.
Okay.
At least in Bangalore, Kolkata and Hyderabad, we are the only company who can handle EV insurance. I haven't seen any other places where insurance companies can go. It also for the reason that we had a very good relationship or history of 5 years of handling insurance. So they know us as a company. So they allow us. They trust us. They say that if Automovill is there, they will at least won't harm the vehicle. So that way we do. We handle most critical cases also EV. We also handle waterlogged EV vehicles, not
Okay.
in Bangalore, in Kolkata.
Mhm.
We also does a vehicle's battery replacement where the battery was totally gone and
Mhm.
out of life. We put new battery, that also we have done, but it
Okay.
is more of an OEM control because the fixed set is there. This battery we have to fix in this vehicle. That
Hmm.
also we have done. So that way we never found an issue. We manufacturers are still having an issue getting insurance because insurance companies are not yet trained to handle any kind of EV requirement.
Okay.
You know, when you underwrite an EV insurance, this thing, they have also set guidelines. No?
Mhm.
So if this vehicle is a retrofit vehicle, whether it should have insurance or not, because
True.
the body manufacturer is different, the battery is from different. So they need a
Originally
kind of a
R&D was
retrofit.
for
Yeah.
different thing.
So it was done differently. So insurance is an issue for this kind of vehicle. So some cases it is issue actually to get insurance. But
Mhm.
once you get insurance, handling that vehicle is not a problem. People don't question if at least with us we never had an issue.
So if you have a reputed workshop, electric vehicle insurance is not a problem,
No, no.
provided your vehicle is not a retrofit.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, provided is not a retrofit.
Okay. And so also we were talking about how battery management softwares were increasing. You were talking about discharge rates and all. So the thing that's coming up today is remote diagnosis. So remote diagnosis is very big on electric vehicles, I believe, because you can manage to a cellular level in electric vehicles. So how has remote diagnosis helped workshops like Automovill, and what are the changes that you are expecting that remote diagnosis will bring on the platform?
Mature manufacturer. What is mature manufacturers? Like I would say Ola and Ether also in that case, or maybe now River. So they're very mature manufacturers. I mean, their technology is very high. For them, remote diagnosis is key to their vehicle success.
Okay.
Because remote diagnosis enable them to quickly understand the problem or have a preventive method, whatever can be applied, or prescriptive thing what needs to be done. So one is predictive, one is preventive, one is prescriptive. So predictive is in ICE vehicle there is hardly you can predict apart from your sound. You need a technician.
Yes.
A guy with similar knowledge. But with EV vehicle and evolution of the technology what these matured manufacturers use, they can predict by looking at the data. So this will prevent lot of hassles in future or accidents. Then also this will also able to give them a prescriptive solution to the vehicle owner for anything that needs to be done. So in future I would see this will enable all the small roadside technicians also to solve the scooter or vehicles problem at ease. So this will change the entire landscape of after sales ecosystem.
Okay. So like the car is becoming smarter. It's like a patient going to a doctor. कि doctor मेरे पेट में दर्द है. Like the car itself is telling the problem to you now.
So basically see, certain set of problems cars can tell, but there are certain fundamentals in both EV and ICE will remain same. For example, the suspension system, the braking, the air conditioning, damage due to accident and all, which constitute almost 60 to 70% of the business. Rex for 30 to 40% is was actually specific to that engine. So that 30 to 40% will be gone, of course, with EV, but and then a 10% will be added, which will be electric. But other problems remain same. So those visible problems will the car itself will tell, looking into it. Rest where the car tells you, it is much better in EVs. ICE engine it is much lesser. They cannot predict the issue with your what you call throttle, but in a EV vehicle it can tell you the problem in the motor winding. I mean that whatever the fault in the motor. So this kind of things will change with EV.
Certainly, sir. And so you were also talking about prediction, how automobile companies are predicting by diagnosis of their vehicles. So a new trend that has come up is over-the-air updates. So if you believe, Ather recently added over a new feature by over-the-air updates.
Yeah.
So how is over-the-air updates evolving in the EV space, and what is the impact it will have on a resale of a vehicle? Because you buy a car with 5 features, you're selling it has 7.
So I will take you 10 years back, maybe 10, 12 years back. When your Windows is updated, when you buy it, you bought an Windows, say, what was the Windows? After Windows XP, what came? I forgot.
7, I believe.
Windows 7 came. So XP to 7, if your computer is say i5 or something, 10 years back, 10, 12, i5 was new, and you had XP because of your interest, which use XP say in 2000, late 2000, you need XP. Suddenly 7 came in, certain support stopped. You want to upgrade to 7, right? You don't do anything now. No floppy disk, no CD-ROM. Not forget about service center. How you do? You go there, you log in, you create your account, you purchase it online, click
Yes,
on
it's
it,
done and
it
it's
is
come on the
updated.
system.
So when these manufacturers make those scooters, they can perceive certain requirement. Certain requirement will remain same, but other requirement will change. Say they don't have ABS today. You have to
Yes.
release a scooter in 2023. Your deadline is 2023. You have to release a scooter by Q1. What is the best way to do it? Whatever, because the dynamics won't change much, tires won't change much, suspension and all those things won't change much. What will change is underlying software which runs the scooter, because today's time scooter and vehicle will more like an Android phone, and around that you build a vehicle, right?
Yes.
So you will update that brain of the vehicle, so you can release the scooter. That can leverage this OEMs.
True.
Once you do it, what you have to make sure that you have the capability to over the air upgrade. So they will release the scooter. So you release the scooter without ABS, but your software code is not over. That's why you could not release.
But the
But you
hardware was
don't
always
have to
there.
tell anyone. You fix whatever need to be fixed. Vehicle will anyway work. Only thing is that ABS facility will not be there. Brake will still work the same way.
Yes.
They release the vehicle with ABS sensor, which is not active, and that sensor error code also they will deactivate. Release the vehicle. Once they make the software, it is ready. They will put the patch on the cloud. Will upgrade your scooter because it is a connected scooter.
So over the night, your scooter is getting ABS.
Yes, over the night. So this is how things will. I may be wrong in whatever I am telling, or like a layman terms, but this is how things will work in future, and it is already started working. But with smart manufacturers, not with everyone. You cannot expect every scooter. I mean, there are a lot of EVs there. You cannot expect them to work that way.
So there's an Indian manufacturer. Okay, I remember they released a car with close to 300 kilometers of range or something, and over the air they adapted the software which was managing the battery and the motors. It eventually they reduced the peak output of the motor but increased the range by 35 kilometers because the customers were like, I don't need so much of power to roam around the city. I need range. So over the air they were able to balance the power and extend the range just through software. So cars are becoming computers now.
I won't go to technicality, but as rate of charge, rate of discharge, and how much power your motor will get. You can always control how much, at what rate the battery can have peak discharge. In future, you will also see the vehicle will behave differently in city and behave differently in hills. It will understand that you don't need certain features in hill.
Yes.
It will sense the temperature and it will automatically switch off the AC where you need more power. Even now also these things are there, technologies, but not that much used in this ICE engine. But with EV, those things are not become fancy or vanity. Those things are requirements,
necessities.
So slowly you will feel that this kind of things will keep coming and vehicles range will keep on increasing. But there is a limit to it, of course. But yeah, many things will become like that. You won't be surprised if the vehicle will automatically start driving at one point of time, saying that I have already launched an automatic driver manual. You are driving in this expressway. I can get you for longitude and longitude.
Yes.
Drive without this thing. It's like a cruise control. It will drive it off its own.
So AI is having big implications in EV
AI
space.
will have lot of things in EV mobility. I mean, in our lifetime itself, I won't be surprised if I see driverless car driving in India. In India,
amongst the traffic.
Amongst this traffic, it is drivers itself are not able to drive. So
even I have seen, companies are now coming up with AIs that are learning the way you drive and they're adapting the throttle response to it. So it's learning, okay, because maybe I am a driver with extra throttle response and you give less throttle. So it is able to, adjust the battery accordingly and the motor peak output accordingly to provide maximum range in the eco mode. So according to the mode, it's learning how the driver is and it's adjusting the controls.
I'll give you the analogy to it. You understand voice detection in Siri and
Yes.
Apple phones. You also speak, I also speak. I mean, anybody will speak in various languages, but they understand the voice of the guy who owns the phone, right?
Yes.
Almost similarly, the car will understand how you drive, because it knows that you always put a pressure of this many kgs on the car. This thing, you drive with your hands on what position, all these things, and it can also have the sense of your maybe of your temperature and everything also at one point of time. Even
Mhm.
now also they detect the driver's alcohol, this thing also, no, some cars.
Yes.
So like this, they will automatically adapt to it. Even now your computer, your search history is everything like known by the
Yeah, it
system.
shows me what I want to see.
So car will also know.
Mm.
Now, because car is essentially driven by software, it is very easy to now convert those data points into some kind of information. Once you convert those data points to information, it is very easier to process it and control the vehicle's behavior. Very simple. I mean,
True.
in engineering terms, enough of data points, create the algorithm and start feeding the data. It will work the way you want.
What do you see, like what implications is AI having on workshops coming up? EV workshops will at some point have AI and things like blockchain to maintain privacy, etc. So how do you see this coming, and how do you see this being adapted at Automovill?
It is highly improbable at today's time. As I said, if your car has an accident, you scrap it on the wall or banged a different vehicle, AI will not do anything in that. Even if you take a photo and tell the extent of damage, your cost will still the same. To paint a vehicle bumper, if you take 4,000, bumper is half broken, completely broken, or maybe just a scratch, doesn't matter.
True.
I have to buy the same amount of paint, the same cycle it has to follow. So the price is also remaining. So AI cannot change on this. But however, what AI can do is it can, if you have a certain amount of problem over a period of time, you can predict that which is the most probable cause of different kind. Like the suspension sound is coming, and it can predict if there are 100 cars with suspension problem. Not 100 will be a very small number. After 10,000 repairs of suspension, it can tell you by listening to the noise what kind of a problem it is. There's a possibility. I'm not saying it is possible today, but somebody is to work towards it. Who will work? Point number one.
True.
And point number two, how much data point you have. And point number three, how much money and time you are going to save with this? Not much. So even if you're solving a problem with AI, that problem should be what solvable, right?
But maybe eventually AI can, detect problems. Maybe if I click a photo, AI is able to now understand, okay, that bumper's gone, that doors need to be
No, that's
replaced.
there. That's already there. Even we have developed that.
Okay, so you are actually using AI as we speak.
We use that one point of time. Then we realize that if I use it, it's actually I am paying lot of money to Amazon Web Service or maybe Google Cloud or maybe
Financially
cloud
not viable.
companies. Yeah, and then actually I will make some value to the customer because I won't make much of a change to customer's final requirement. He has to anyway repair. Only thing is that I will take his the information passing to him will be faster, but it will not change his cost and everything. Because timeline is still the same.
And sir, you were also speaking about how Automovill is working on replacing batteries. So how's the experience of actually replacing the heart of the vehicle? And what's the costing like? And maybe if something's changing in this industry, maybe something's new is coming, something.
To be honest, we were just the hands and legs of it. We are not in the minds of it. Only thing is that we already had a partner who was doing it.
Okay.
The certain set of information came to us. I mean, we were told that this is the battery, this is the motor, this is where the engine you have to remove, this is the gearbox, this is where gearbox will go off and the motor connection will come. Now you do whatever has to do around it. So our job was just to fix it. So we did the last mile of it.
Okay.
The word. The core was developed by somebody else. So I won't, if I tell something also, it won't make a very smart thing to tell. It is more of this mechanical connections we did, but that learning will now slowly help us or gradually help us to dismantle those cars and repair them quickly, because repairing these vehicles is very important. You will see most of this adoption of EV vehicles is on commercial segment, where downtime is the most killing factor for them. Reduce the downtime, your increase their revenue, right? So what we are now learning, how to decrease the downtime. So those kind of connections, retrofitting helped us to understand where things could go wrong and where we can quickly make the vehicle up. So that was our experience. So we always, like an AI system, we are also learning how to quickly repair a car, be it EV, be it IC. Now it is EV, so we are running there, and our experience will help us to make them on the road as soon as possible. So that would be our experience, but technically it is not much that I will make a value at today.
Maybe it is like it's not so difficult to engineer a retrofitted EV vehicle today.
No, it is not much.
But the problem is to get it on road.
Problem is get it on road. Problem is to keep the component ready. Now there is another factor that comes in the ecosystem, right? ICE engine in from 80s to 2020, in our lifetime itself, most of the things are manufactured in India.
Mm.
Or even if I say 99% things are manufactured in India, maybe your chip and your this thing will be different, but
Mhm.
rest everything will be manufactured in India. So for EV also this kind of things should happen. I mean the entire system or business should be localized. Then only we will be able to say that that these things are working fine. I mean this thing will work as expected.
Okay.